going on, guys? Selling you that Grant wheel. I haven't decided if I want to sell this yet or not. I think I want to buy another strange hub and swap wheels between street and track. I just don't know how driving with that aluminum wheel all the time will feel in my hands. I will probably sell the steering shaft. That's gonna get sold. I got zero use for that thing anymore. Now that I got the tubular column in the car. I gotta find it. I don't even know where I put it right now. Somewhere on the shelf. Things are going good. Sorry I haven't got that gas pedal back out to you. I haven't had zero time. Hello from Canada. What's going on, Ryan? Get some snow in Canada yet? I'm going to New Hampshire this weekend. They say it might snow. Bernardino, California. Sounds. I think I know a couple people there. Bernardino. Yeah, I mean it's sitting right here. Sitting on my bench. I just literally haven't had time to box it up and send it out yet. What's going on, Rob? How you been? ETA on completion? we won't go there. I tried to get it running this weekend. I went out Sunday and bought a couple gallons of E85, threw it in the car, and goddamn car didn't start. Brand new crank sensor, crapped out. Brand new starter, crapped out. So, I will be picking up a OEM crank sensor this week. I'll get it Thursday. I ordered it today. I talked to Derek from MSR. He called me last night, and I team viewed him into my computer, and we went over a whole bunch of things. And every once in a while, the car would sputter. No spark issue, would get spark, and you know, we high-speed logged the cam and crank signal while cranking, and the crank sensor dropping in and out. Wouldn't stay, you know, you get a solid signal, it'd light right up, but I mean, within a half a second, it dropped back down. But the two things these both have in common, they're both aftermarket. That's what I get for buying aftermarket crap. So I called the GM, ordered me a crank sensor. I'm going to try to find me a starter. One of my friends said he had one. He said he had two. He said he had an OE1 and a Power Master. I don't know. I'll see what he wants for it. But I tried to warranty this, but apparently a year and a half is too long, even though it's only been started 5 times. Overcome the cold weather and very bad body pain to get back to work. Tequila. It's the best bet. That's what I do. That's not even a joke. Just not too much of it. I gotta do some more research on the mid plate of what I can do with having it spaced back from, obviously you're going to space the transmission back a 3/8 of an inch, or it's going to be a gap now between the between the transmission and the block, and I got to see what I can do about my converter. I really don't want to buy another converter for that space, so I got to see if I can just space that and it'd be fine. But it'll definitely get the motor plate tranny member. But I'm probably gonna wait until I do the tube front end. When I get the 417 front end, and once I do that, I will do the motor and mid plates. Well, the mid plate won't matter, but the motor plate will. Spicy burrito. Mike M from Ohio. That's the goal. That is the goal, to help everyone. The benefit of a motor plate, there's a couple reasons people do motor plates. You can do it to set the motor wherever you want it. A lot of people like to drop the motor down to get the center of gravity down. I can't go much further down. I have maybe a half an inch between that and my steering rack. That's why people do like a stiletto K-frame and an outlaw rack, because it pushes it all the way forward and you can drop the motor down, but that's really not conducive for street driving. But once you start getting up in the horsepower regions, your motor mounts are literally just on 2 cylinders. So that's a lot of stress on those 2 cylinders. It's not as bad on cast iron as it is aluminum, but still, you start cranking 1,200 horse, that's a lot of stress in that small part of the block. So if you bolt that thing front and rear, it'll be much stronger, make the chassis more rigid. Is it street legal in your state for exhaust exiting out of the fenders? Probably not, but 25 years I'm emissions exempt, so I'm going to go with they're really not going to bother me. I used to drive my father's Challenger around 900 horse open header. He had dumps on it, supercharger car, and I had a cop just tell me to light him up with it. What are the best options for 4 inputs and 4 outputs? I don't know about the Holley. No, we don't have state inspections here. I don't know. Does the Holley provide oil pressure, or you got to add that as an input? The Gold Box, you actually have to add oil pressure as an input. It's stupid. But I do oil pressure, fuel pressure, transmission temp. I'm sure it does coolant temp. What else would I do? Fuel pressure, oil pressure, transmission pressure. Transmission pressure. Jesus Christ. Transmission temp. And if it's a turbo car, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do coolant pressure. Has oil and fuel built in. They don't use that as an input, so you have 4 spare inputs. Yeah, then I would do, if it does oil and fuel, I'd do coolant pressure, transmission temp, and outline pressure. I don't know if 351s have that problem like LSs do with wiping out thrust bearings. Maybe back pressure. I mean, I have like 12 different things I want to log, but Gold Box sucks, so I want to upgrade that eventually. Yeah, if the oil and fuel pressure are part of the kit, that's great. You got a pretty good option to have the 4 inputs to be able to choose what you want. I mean, you could put 10 different sensors in the car and make sure they're the same plugs and just swap them back and forth when you want to monitor something. That's always an option too. Like, I don't even have tranny temp. I still got to pull the pan off my trans and weld a bung into it. I don't know. That and output pressure. Pennsylvania sucks with, yeah, as bad as Connecticut is, they're pretty lax on a lot of their vehicle laws. So I don't have to worry about that. It's also the reason why nothing's registered out of state. Next, for a list on the car, besides getting it running. Well, hopefully it'll be running Thursday. I gotta finish my brake lines. I gotta finish flaring them, and then Josh from Finishing Lines is gonna custom make me a set of soft lines for the car. I ran his stuff on my Integra, and he makes high quality stuff. You guys should check him out. Finishing Lines. He'll make you anything you want, any color arrangement, any fittings, you name it. He'll make it. Beer and tacos. I wish. I only got a power rate. My tires will be here Thursday for the rims, but the polisher didn't put the valve stems in the box for the wheels, so I'm waiting on my new valve stems to come in, and then I could put it down. Once I flare the brake lines, I can put the front end back on. I just want to get this thing rolling with the front end back on. Has my yes, it's been narrowed 2 inches aside, 4 inches total, and I think it is 50 inches flange to flange. Yeah, the HP install shouldn't be too terribly hard. There's not much to it. Yep, stock front fenders, stock front bumpers, stock doors, stock trunk. It's an all steel car. The only thing that's changed is I got the lower valance and I got the drag wing. Oh, I got a fiberglass hood, but it's a piece of shit. It probably weighs. It's over here. You guys can there it is. You guys can barely see it. I got screwed on that hood, and the guy must have had it cut out for a carburetor or a supercharger or something. But it had like a big cut in the back side, and I sent my stepdad to pick it up, but this guy fucking scumbagged me out of New York, and he glassed the whole thing back together, and there has to be a quarter inch of body filler on the hood, and I didn't realize until I started cutting it out because of the high ram, and I hate it. I paid $150 for it, so I'm not mad, but I'll probably just leave the freaking hood off until I buy a new one. Oh, did I spell the title wrong? I didn't even notice the freaking, I'll probably have to go in and change that. Yeah, they are Bellac. Bellac? I don't even know how to pronounce it correctly. Yeah, I'm eventually going 15 by 12 with a 275. Stretch it out. The dog, she's waiting for my wife to come home. That is definitely my wife's dog. Once the wife comes home, she'll be gone. She'll be upstairs. Um, the Holly Dominator does have a ton of inputs and outputs. There a lot of people love it. I don't like the size of that goddamn computer. You could literally use that thing for ballast, and I don't want to try to hide that somewhere. That thing is a monster. People hide it under their seat. How low is it going to be in the front? It's going to be low. I got those Team Z drop spindles, which will dump it down 2 inches. And I really wanted the drop spindles just because my coilovers are like they're more than halfway down, and I'm still not at the right height that I want. So it'll be nice because I'll be able to drop that down, and then if I wanted to, I can go to a 14-inch spring instead of a 12-inch spring. So I want to be able to tuck the tire just a touch in the front. No, you're not fitting a 3. I mean, if you do like a 325/50, you could put it in there, but there's no point. I mean, people go threes on a 275, more than enough, more than I'll ever need. Yeah, Brian, the Holly's no fucking joke. That thing's like 40 pounds. I wouldn't mind putting like a 325/50 on a 17-inch wheel for street driving on like a 14-inch wide wheel, but that's something I'll worry about later in life. I don't need to waste money on a set of street wheels right now. I just spent 1,500 bucks or whatever they cost me for those front wheels, something around there. But they don't cost that normally. If you guys are interested in those wheels, I paid, I think I paid 15.50 shipped to my door, but adding the center caps and adding the polishing on was like another $350. So I think he sells the black anodized machined without center caps for 1,200 or something around there. Because I know a lot of you, if you guys are running Fox body brakes, like upgraded brakes, you can't run a center cap anyway. Yeah, it's gonna look really sweet on those wheels. I'm glad I got them polished. I think I might be the only ones with those I'm obviously not the only one with those wheels. I might be the only one with them polished. Everybody loves black wheels. Loves black wheels. I'm done with black wheels. I'm actually sending my beadlock rings to the guy who polished these wheels to get those polished too. So I get rid of some more black. I thought about sending the centers with it and just having everything freaking polished and be done with it. But I'm probably going to sell it. Now, I have rear wheels for now. I'm not changing those. The only reason I changed up the front is because they didn't fit over the brakes. That's the only reason I changed the front. And all in all said and done, a set of race brakes probably would have been cheaper. But in the long run, I wanted 17-inch wheels anyway. It's going to get road race. Nah, not road race brakes. But it's going to get vented rotors in the front with 4 pistons. I was looking at the Bear kits, but I'm not spending $1,300 on a set of brakes. If I were to get, when I decide to get the black rears, it will be the 5-star. I don't like mismatched. Yeah, I don't have PBR brakes. I just got 99 GT calipers, and there was no way. So I think race stars fit over them, and there was like 1 or 2 wheels that did fit over them, but welds will not a chance. Hunk of junk car mods. That's funny. So I'll probably do a 15x12 single bead lock, fully polished. I don't, I haven't even asked for a price because I don't want to know right now because make me sell my rears, and I'd end up auctioning those off because, well, I don't know what wheels you have, Adam, because welds don't fit it. I needed an inch spacer to fit my welds, and the PBR brakes I thought were the Cobra brakes. I'm pretty sure it says PBR right on. I had a set of Cobra calipers, just no brackets. I sold them. Do the front brakes have to be super strong? I mean, I don't know. No, I mean they're not going to lock up too quickly. That's why you have proportioning valve and adjustable valve. Black wheels are played out, in my opinion. One guy actually commented on my YouTube. He was mad that I dissed black wheels, and he's like, unsubscribe, and I'm like, cool. But if you guys have ever seen, I can't think of his name right now. He's got the charcoal notchback in the weeds on polished wheels. Um, Ziff Hudson's car. That thing is gorgeous on polished wheels. How much does a set of SVE wheel? I bet you those SVE wheels weigh more than my 17s. Oh yeah. You know, it's funny. People were asking me what wheels I was getting. I'm like, you'll see. He'll be here in a week or two. You see, and they're like, you know, why? I'm like, because I don't want to tell no one yet. God, way more than race stars. My buddy's got Jags, SSR spikes or whatever, 5 star on his car. 15s. Those freaking wheels are heavy as hell. All right. Some people like black wheels. I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I want black wheels for my truck, but it's I'm just played out on cars having black wheels. And now that I do polished, it's different. It used to be. Zip's car is definitely one of the best looking Fox bodies. It is definitely in the top 3 Fox bodies. It's that, it's the Bruder Brothers blue one, which I'm pretty sure they sold because people kept making rules to eliminate them from classes because they were so freaking fast with everything they did. And there's another guy who built a red one, red notchback. He was all over Yellow Bullet with it on his Instagram. I can't remember his name. Mark, I think his name is. But his car is probably the nicest notchback in the world, period. I try, Jason. I really try. Getting a little thick in here, though. Yeah, I should have got chromed. These polish, it's going to be a pain in the ass to keep them clean. Damn dog. I was actually really contemplating getting my get the ball, getting my welds chromed. Yes, the Schlitz car. That is probably the nicest Mustang in the world. Horsepower and ET, 850s, street driven. I would like to click a 7. I'd probably go to a track rental once or twice just to get a 7-second time slip, but I'm not upgrading my cage. I don't have a horsepower goal. Whatever will get me to mid-8s. So, you're probably 1,000 horse to make it easy. 2 gates, because it's separated all the way. It's separated all the way up to the flange. I've just literally in the past 2 or 3 months started learning how to fabricate turbo kits and everything, and going from 2 1/4 to a 3-inch merge 2 pipes was just something I was not looking forward to do while trying to fit a giant 60mm gate in there. So I traded my 60mm gate for 2 40s. I think they're 40s. I don't know. Clear them. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Nah, you don't need dual chutes for Island. You just need a properly sized chute. We've gone 187 there in a Civic, and and that's only on front brakes. We don't even have 4-wheel brakes in that car. Went 187 on a single chute, and it was fine. Jared Johnson's notch. I'm not familiar with that. Goddamn dog on the ball. Hold on, I gotta get this ball for her. Get, get, go. Freaking dog. Yeah, because now that Englishtown's been shut down, I'll spend most of my time in Ireland or Lebanon. I would like to go to New England Dragway. I mean, I got no problem going to different tracks, but it's kind of a hike. I mean, everything's an hour and a half at least. So that right there, Island is probably the closest now. That's done Island in an hour 20, I think. Well, Englishtown's still doing a lot of shows and events and everything. They just don't have the drag racing anymore. The owner shut down the drag racing part of it. Um, no, I'm very bitter with Englishtown's owners. I think what they did was some scumbag move to just to line their freaking pockets. I mean, it is what it is. It's $10 million to do literally absolutely nothing, but they screwed millions. We'll go millions of people. I've been out of the street racing scene for so long that I have absolutely no idea. I know they're still racing in New York, but I won't go to New York. I have started the car and I have heard the motor run. I think I put up a video last year of when I first got it all wired up. I fired it up to make sure everything was good, but it's been a while. It hasn't been. Come to Michigan. If I move out of state, it's somewhere warmer. No, I won't be upgrading the cage from a 10 point. I will not go to it. And if I ever did, it would go to a 25.3, but I never will. This is a car for me to have fun and drive uh, around as much as I possibly can. Like I want to finish this car for next summer and tear my truck apart and put a cam and long tubes and a high ram on my truck and everything like that. So I want to be able to drive this thing and not worry about dying, cracking my head on the cage. Let me tell you, if I hit Mega Millions tonight, I'm buying a goddamn racetrack. Yeah, it was the kids. I think the old man left it to him, and the kids sold out. Apparently, the one guy whose lead ownership is a big dirt bike guy and never even really liked the drag racing aspect of it. He could get fucked for all I care. I don't. You know what? I probably won't even max the car out on the dyno. It'll probably go there, get tuned on wastegate, and then it'll get final tuned at the track. So you can play with times and numbers and see. Yeah, they leased it out to Copart to park wrecked cars. $10 million for 7 years or something like that. Yeah, I'll do all the power at the track. I probably won't even turn on the boost controller on the dyno. So it'll probably make 700 on gates, somewhere around there. 650, 700. I think I got 8 or 9 pounds in the wastegates. But now that I just downloaded new firmware, I might pull that out and put like 3 pound springs in it because I'm pretty sure the new firmware I can do dome control on now. Dome control is so much better. Yeah, anything with a 25 is a race car, in my opinion. In the parking lot, I think they do like a autocross type of thing in the parking lot because they have the drift track there. It must have been cool to live that close for all them years though when it was open. Which I could be 20 minutes from any track. I wish Connecticut had a track. Period. Not even 20 minutes. Just put a track in. Um, when last time I was at Island, um, I talked to the owners because Randy Seward was doing that whole cross country trip, so the owners came over and talked, and they're big. They want to make that track work. It was a hard year for I think pretty much any track in New England with all the rain and everywhere. But they picked up a bunch of equipment when Englishtown stopped, and they want to keep that track live. The yellow import. Someone actually sent me a message about that thing again the other day. He was thinking about buying it, but he doesn't like that it's got a mild steel cage in it. I built that car. They weren't even close to 850s yet, so a 10-point mild steel was fun. Yeah, I mean, everywhere was shaky this year with how bad the weather is. They were always closed. I mean, crap, we were there. 100-degree day, there were 7 cars there. Another Lincoln, titanium everything drag week car. 260 millimeter wastegates. Good lord. Who did you meet here in Cali? Robbie, thanks. I hope you like them. They're good. Echo. I like the track. I've never gotten home any faster than 5 hours from that track. And that's especially on a Sunday. I can't be driving 5-6 hours on a Sunday night. That's ridiculous. Don, stop moving. Everywhere you go, they're shutting down tracks. What's it? The right lane got a little bounce in it after the finish line. Um, but it's not a bad track. Oh, yeah. Randy, nice guy. We raced him. Didn't work out well, but really cool what he did. If I were starting fresh with a 351, how would I build it? Um, Aftermarket block, Dart. More than likely Dart. I think they make some of the best blocks out there that aren't billet. Um, I'd probably leave it stock stroke and just punch it out a little bit. But I'd just have a set of steel H beams in it. Um, Maybe a good crank, set of diamond pistons, Cali's rods. I don't even know if they make anything for that. A set of good aluminum heads. Let it eat. 8-hour drive to Echo. Yeah, that track ain't worth 8 hours. Up and forward headers. Putting 2 for twin 76s. Oh, 408. That's gonna make some power. Yeah, you can get a big block, but it's big. It's a lot of weight. I never messed with 351, but all the 302 crap we did back in the day, AFR heads were great. Um, what size for the 351? Cubic inch? Would I ever build another Honda? Probably not. I do have 2 K series motors sitting in the other side of the garage, though. I honestly, if my Integra came back up for sale again and I considered buying it, but then he told me the price, and I'm like, you're high. That's not going to happen. I won't. I know what the car is worth with what's in it, and I won't. They're trying to pay. They're trying to get money for stuff that the car, because it is nice. It's painted underneath. It's painted inside, but that thing's been stripped down. Every person it gets moved to, and they wanted like $4,500 for the car, and the only upside to what the car had in it was like uh, a custom harness for the headlights and taillights and crap. And I'm like, I'll give you $2,000. Oh, you work for K-Tune? That's awesome. Yeah, there's the only thing that makes that a Type R is the VIN number. I mean, there's nothing Type R. Well, that's a lie. When I had the car, it had the Type R dash in it, the Type R door panels, all the Type R carbon fiber I bought. I bought the original Type R decals. I bought every single piece of molding from Honda because I was working for Acura at the time. I tried to keep much. It was still 5 lug, still had all the Type R 5 lug on it, still have Type R wheels. I tried to keep as much originality with that car as I could, and then when it went to the next owner, they molested it, tore all the suspension off of it. I sold all the carbon fiber stuff because the shell wasn't for sale when I sold it. So I made, I sold all the carbon fiber stuff for $600-700. Big cubic inch nitrous car, no. Nitrous is trash in my opinion. It's great for beginners, and that's where it should stay. Nitrous is for beginners and people with too deep of wallets that haven't seen the light. And I don't say that to offend anyone. Yeah, I mean, if you want to run nitrous, be my guest. But I mean, how did that feel when 2 out of the 3 nitrous plants shut down and you're paying freaking $20 a pound? I would run a Pro Charger. I got no problem with it. I actually love superchargers, and I'd love to have a big twin screw sitting on top of this motor, but that's just not economical for street driving. Drive or build a Pro Mod? No, I don't. They're cool, they're fast, they're badass, but I'm not a huge fan of them. I'd rather have a. I like my drag cars to look like cars, like NASCAR calls them stock cars, and they're just a fiberglass body. They don't even look like anything. So when I watch these races, especially like the lights out races and all those duck races, and you see these guys with steel body cars with Impalas and Novas and big blowers running threes, now that's badass. You do it in the Pro Mod, great. It should be in the threes. No, I mean, the more you can get it to look like a factory car, the better, in my opinion. Someone mentioned Mike Murillo's car before, and that's one reason why I would never go big tire in a Mustang, because them quarter panels are hideous. No, I didn't listen to Stevie about doing another Mustang. I hope he does another Mustang. I'm mad that he put himself in that freaking Pro Mod. And that is by far my favorite driver. It's been for years. And it's mainly because he talks a lot of shit and he backs it up. Turbo is the way for 98% of the world. Like I said, I'd rather have a giant fucking blower up about here, rattling the fucking neighborhood away, but you just can't drive that shit on the street. But a guy at Drag Week did. I don't know if you guys saw that. I can't even remember the car, but he took the burst panel off, put a throttle body there, took the belt off, and changed the tune up for the street, and he drove that shit, just bypassed the supercharger. That was badass. I hope he builds another freaking steel body Mustang. That thing was so awesome. 25.3 steel body car Hemi paired with turbos or big Proline 481. Are we going BAE Hemi? Billet Hemi? Um, in my opinion, Hemi is the end all be all when it comes to drag cars. That is the baddest motor out there, period. 481X Hemi with twins. I mean, yes, the 57 Nomad. God, that car was amazing. That was probably my favorite car on Drag Week. Yeah, that Nomad was intense. I tried to follow that thing as much as I could. Yeah, they put that Proline motor in every single one of those cars, but they don't make money if you listen to them. They've just got $50,000 long blocks sitting around. Started out with freaking Nitrous small blocks, and now they got freaking billet Proline motors. Well, I mean, just a billet motor in general, you're going to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars, but Proline just makes so much power, and they're just so good at what they do. I haven't decided if I'm going to World Cup yet. I missed it last year to do with situations about a team I was crewing on, and I don't know if I'm going to make it this year. I'm supposed to work next weekend, and at this point, it might just be me making more money because my kids due in January. So I got to work on the house more and with building the car. Yeah, Jason, they literally just dropped a top fuel motor in a freaking car and said, "Let's have fun with it." Reach the sixes in the quarter? Hell no. The Fireball Camaro. Well, he was making a lot of money before he even came on that show. That's the only guy that had money before that show. He's got a big shop and he does a lot of work. But like all the other guys who were just Joe Schmoes around the corner street racing, and now, um, got freaking toter trailers and freaking, $400,000 cars. Do you? No, I don't want to go sixes. I just let me crack 799 once, and I'll be happy. It better go low fives in the eighth. This setup, other people I've seen go 520s, 525s. I don't know what my car weighs. It's gonna be a pig. Um, but if I go like 540 with this car, 530, and I'm just out of steam, I'll probably change. I'll probably put an 85 or an 88 on it. I'll probably send this turbo to Jose and just get it upgraded. Um, but that's something we'll go. It's still lighter. Nobody told you to choose a land yacht. I mean, it is cool, but it's still a land yacht. Fireball. Those trainers are probably 15 grand a piece, if not more. Oh no, I'll never stop building cars. I already said to my wife, I said, to continue with this whole YouTube thing and everything, I'm gonna have to build another car when this one's done. The main goal right now, um, with the car is get it finished, drive it, race it, hit my goal, and then we'll work on something else. Um, while I'm racing it, I'll probably start working on something else. I don't know what it's going to be yet. It's not going to be a Mustang as much as I love them. Um, Past couple of months, I've been really kicking around the idea of a little mullet style Camaro, like an 88, 89. My buddy had one when we were in high school, black T-top Z28. And, 200 horsepower. And we just had so much fun in that car. I love that car. So I wouldn't mind finding another one, black gray interior T-top car, LS turbo, maybe. Colin, nice to see you. 800 horsepower, enough to hit eights with a 3,000-pound car. Probably with everything figured out on a perfect day, yes. My buddy's notchback weighs like just a hair under 3,000 with him in it. Makes like 875, and he's just starting to dip in the eights. But his 60 foot's not all there. Like he's cutting low 1.3s, high 1.2s, and he's just dipping it into the eights. So you know, it's you can do it. The Holly Digital Dash, as long as it's the 7-inch one and not that little baby one, um, it is a badass dash. I My personal opinion, I love the Race Pack Dash. I think the Holly Dash has way too many features. I think there's just way too much going on, and I like the simplicity of a Race Pack, but it is a very nice dash. Brian Davis is putting a new class together. I wish someone would put a class together on the freaking East Coast I could race in. Yeah, all steel running 520s. That's my goal. I want to be a mid 8, low 5 car, all steel. I'll drive that thing to work, drive it to the grocery store, drive it wherever the hell I want. I want to drive it to Foxtoberfest. I want to drive it to Mustang Week, even though they don't want to allow me in there because they're haters. Cold tacos. No, wife's not home yet. If I do another Mustang, Mopar. I can't afford a Mopar. I'd love like a Dart or something. That's a body, but if I do a Mustang, it's getting a Honda motor. Simple as that. Honda motor, good size turbo, Nissan 6-speed tranny, 500 horse, something like that. Yeah, I mean 800 at the time. I mean, in perfect condition, it will go 8s. You just got to have that perfect condition. Mullet Camaro. I don't know. I'm an equal opportunity car guy. Oh, see, Jason, I'd love to race in that class. That would be a lot of fun. But everything like that, it will get picked apart, and there'll be guys going 4s in it sooner than later. I didn't even know what a delay box was until like 2 years ago, and I can't believe that's actually a thing. Mini truck? I I like mini trucks. I am way too goddamn big to be in those things. I do like classic muscle cars. I do. I do like the old Chevys. I like all the old cars, but I would love to have like an old Starliner. Let me find a Starliner that's not completely rotted out for under 5 grand. Sent the bait for a Camaro on Facebook. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have another Camaro, or I'm not gonna have another Camaro. If I can find one. Yeah, you got a lot of. Is it a mini truck though? Like, is it chopped and notched and dropped and all that? K swap Camaro. Is it possible? Oh, anything's possible. Now I've actually learned how to TIG weld. Camaro. Yeah, I like them. Not that catfish style one though. I'd love to put a Coyote in a Camaro, and then I'd have to have my wife drive one of them to a show. Yeah, well, I mean, once you start notching that thing and cutting that thing up and everything, that it gets small in there. I really wouldn't mind building a Coyote car, but it would have to be like a new Edge. 2 JZs, great motor, blown Pro Street. I'd love to build one, but them blowers are so freaking expensive. Coyote Camaro, that would be insane. I would piss off the world with these two cars. can I talk you in a K swap for a probe for a 4G swap? Yeah, you won't do freaking 5,000 head gaskets. And you can make 500 horsepower on a stock motor. A Coyote and a Fox is a pain in the ass. There's a lot of crap you gotta buy. It's, I mean, you're gonna spend money to build a fast push rod in general, but I mean, came with that, so it won't be bad. An intervention. I mean, how awesome would it be to have a Coyote in a T-top car, mullet hanging out the back here? 55 Chevy with a Pro-Charged Coyote. That's awesome. I mean, the Coyote fits in a Fox body. I just don't think it looks right. And all of a sudden, the price of Coyotes are going back up again. All over the place, I'm seeing $5,000 for these motors. Fucking crack. Cut my mullet off. I did watch Street Outlaws. After this last season, I am done watching Street Outlaws. There is way too much crying, and Big Chief has turned into nothing but a punk, in my opinion. It's probably the show, but they allow it to happen. So I'm actually done. And then I saw Memphis come back on, and it was an hour-long life story about JJ the Boss. I don't give a shit what he did selling crack 20 years ago. Blown Fox body? What kind of blower on it? I missed some comments here. Yeah, I mean, you get the motor and everything, but by the time you're done with the swap, you're 13, 14 grand for a stock Coyote in a car making 400 horsepower. I mean, I don't want to talk you into an LS, but you get a 6.0 LS, $1,000, AGE whole sub or Team Z, AGE, whichever one you want to spend. Team Z fits better, AGE is cheaper. You drop it in the car, $5,000 and under with a cam, 450, 475, no problem. You put a small block Ford in an E36. Good lord, they must have hated you. Has he updated that thread at all? I haven't been on Yellow Bullet in forever. Yeah, the last season of Street Outlaws was complete and utter trash. I will never watch that show again. What do I do for a living? I'm a flat rate technician at a Honda dealership, and I hate flat rate. I actually had a problem today. I did a short block in a new Pilot. And when I looked up the warranty time, it was 11.2 hours with an alignment to replace the short block. To do 1 through 3 pistons on a 13 Pilot, so they have a problem with piston rings like every other car manufacturer right now. 1 through 3, and then if you pull off the front head to do number 4, they pay you 11 hours. So you literally get paid, it's 10.8 for the short block. So they literally pay you 0.2 more to replace 4 piston rings than you do when dropping the whole drive line out and replacing the short block. I was a little tight today, and that was the first time I ever wrote a complaint to Honda's tech line about they need to, change this warranty time because it's ridiculous. What are very common problems you notice on any 2017, 18 Hondas? It depends on the model. There's really not many problems with them. A bunch of small little nonsense stuff, nothing crazy. I don't think we did a tranny and a CRV on an 18 that like spit the freaking input shaft for some reason. I don't know. Robbie, yeah, the whole engine harness gets changed because the way they routed it, it catches on fire or it gets too hot and burns. I can't remember what the recall specifically said. I've done two of them already, and they changed. Like you see those three little vacuum tubes on the side of your valve cover, that gets all changed, and they move the boost controller to a different part because I think it was getting too hot and melting it. I don't know. I don't really read the recall. I just put the parts in the car. What do I think about the new Type R? I think that car is an absolute blast to drive. That car is so much fun in the little bit that I've gotten to driven it because we got a used one in, so got to do a 10-mile test drive on it. Um, I can't stand the way they look though, but they're so much fun to drive. Sean, that sounds like a pretty awesome setup. Yeah, I was a flat rate tech at Toyota as well. This damn dog with the ball. Um, it is not something I want to do for the rest of my life, but it's all I've been doing for 20 years. It's all I know. Import or domestic, both. I like I said, I'm equal opportunity. I love everything, almost everything. We'll put it that way. Yeah, Chuck was a huge Honda guy years ago, and it's funny because I remember actually watching Chuck race at Englishtown when NHRA was doing imports, and he had his Outlaw. I don't even know, hot rod car, his hot rod, um, going high sevens or whatever it was going. It was really he still got that car, I think. Uh, I don't spit on people though, so I really can't beat Chuck. Favorite gun that I own or just in general? Why don't you do heavy equipment? I did heavy equipment. It sucks. Yeah, 15K my ass. I got a billet block in that car. um, when I change engine management, fuel tech is at the top of my list right now. That's probably what I will switch to. Everybody says go with what your friends have. I literally have one race friend here, and he has Holly, and I won't run that just because I don't like that. Favorite gun I own is a Glock 19. All customized that I did, and the one I don't own would probably be a Shytac Intervention in 400 Win Mag. And if I hit Powerball tonight, I'm buying a case of them. Yeah, 15K. Yeah, his transmission's probably over 15K. He's got a billet block in that car. That thing's probably got $100,000 driveline in it. Yeah, his quarter panels are ugly for a while too. I think he changed it. Nope, my car's got all glass in it. I actually had the windshield. Guy came here and put the windshield in for a good price. Once I get the rear package tray built, I got a glass one for the back with no uh defroster. He's got to come and glue it in for me. T Web, you are 100% correct with that, and that's exactly what I carry every single day is a Gen 319. Yeah, he back offed and went big tire with it. That back half and twin. Did he go dual frame rail in that car? I don't even remember, but the chassis work was probably 20, 30 grand. I mean, that car's easy $250,000. Yeah, I did see that. That was a badass pass out of the car on a stock Coyote. Those new Coyotes are gonna tear the world apart. The new 19X. Yeah, I mean, I may have an LS, but I will not deny that the Coyote is a badass motor. I just won't pay the money for it. I carried a 1911 for about a year or two. Um, People talk a lot of shit about it. I love the 1911. It's too small and doesn't have enough capacity. It's too heavy and it doesn't have enough capacity. What? 10-speed Ford autos? You mean those 10-speed GM autos? Isn't that a GM training in that car? Or is it the new Chevy that has the GM? I don't know. Either the Chevy has the Ford training or the Ford has the Chevy training. One of the two. I think the Gen 1 Coyote prices will come down because, I mean, shit, in, well, 5 years, what, they're on Gen 3 already? This goddamn dog. Can you see her back there trying to get this ball? Yeah. All, all these Ford versus Chevy guys and the Ford and Chevy CEOs are sitting up back in their office just laughing at all these people. Get the ball. Yeah, the direct injection, once that's completely 100% all figured out, that's going to be intense. Well, let me tell you, I pulled apart that 16 Pilot motor today, and at 50K, those valve stems look like they had 400,000 miles on it. I think the converter was changed. I'm not sure if that was on the stock converter. Yeah, it's all about money. That's what they're there to do. Robbie, thank you very much. Do you follow me on Instagram? Follow me on Instagram at Race Status. We'll talk more when I decide what to do with these K series. When you need more than 4 than 7 rounds? It's not a question I'd ever want to ask myself. I mean, put it that way. If I'm ever in a situation, I don't want to have to worry about needing more than 7 rounds. Yeah, like I said, I would do a Coyote car in a heartbeat. It'd have to be a new edge, though. I wouldn't put it in a Fox body. And I do want a new edge, but I really want to put an LS in it because my goal is to make it look like a Cobra R and put an LS in it just to piss people off. Send me a message, Robbie, so I know your Instagram name and I can give you a follow back. This fucking dog. What? What? Make me bang this damn toolbox against my quarter panel. Come on. My garage is full. I don't. You can't really see, but there's an entire kitchen back there. I tore out my mother's entire kitchen and I'm gonna put it in my house. Yeah, I mean emissions here in Connecticut sucks too, and that's honestly. So when I wanted to buy a Mustang, um, um, I was actually offered a roller that was a new edge by a friend of mine, and it was out. It was like the same price I paid for this, and it was set up pretty good. And I had to think long and hard. And this, I walk into the DMV, I get my classic plate on, I drive the car. The new edge, I'd have to worry about emissions and all that crap and higher insurance. So that's why I went with the Fox. Any flaws? Yeah, I heard the oil pumps grenade on them. And the fact that aftermarket cams are like $1,300 because it's 4 of them. But other than that, Ellis swapped Colorado on the street. Already wanting more. Well, get used to that. You say 800 horsepower max, make 800 for a while. You want more. Um, I don't have any experience with a VS Racing turbo. I'm not a huge fan of knockoff turbos. Granted, I see a lot of people running the VS, and it works. Let's be honest, the next car I build will probably have a VS Racing turbo on it, just simply for the price. Um, I just think a person who owns a turbo company should probably run their own turbos. It's kind of weird that he doesn't, but for the price and everything, that 78.75 should get you there. I mean, it'll be fun. Did my tranny come with my Fox? No, I bought it from JW Performance Transmissions out of Florida. Yeah, I'll just never understand a person who has a race car, owns a turbo company, and runs another manufacturer's turbos. So that right there really bothers me. Um, I just, I don't know. That's just weird to me. If you don't believe in your own products, how can you sell them to other people and make them believe in your products? So I don't know, that whole situation bothers me. If he tore those comp turbos off his car and put on a set of VS Racing turbos, I'd have a lot more respect for him, and I'd probably run one. Like I said, I'm probably gonna run one just because they're cheap in the next car, whatever I do. But we'll see. Yeah, there's been a lot of problems with on three stuff. I got a couple friends who run on three and they love their turbos. I wouldn't own anything from on three. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I won't even have that crap in my garage. Yeah, I mean, the power these cars make today and hold and last, how can you have a 900 horsepower car and just drive it like it's nothing? Turbo on my car is a T6. No, I mean, run what you brung. It's just something I wouldn't use. A lot of people, one of my good friends has got on three turbo kit on a 306 in his Fox body. I mean, it is what it is. It's just not something I would use. Yeah, I remember going on the track. 14s was fast. Yeah, 11s. Freaking all motor B series going freaking nines now. I mean, they're in tin cans, but. Sorry, why did I choose a bullseye? The dog's name is Remy. Yeah, girl. And no, I'm not painting my wheels black. Yeah, I was pretty amped to get that message from TMZ and get that whole thing worked out. That's pretty sick. Why did? I'm sorry, I meant to choose. Why did I choose Bullseye? So I got screwed on a turbo, and I got a deal on the Bullseye. It was like a couple $100 cheaper than the Borg Warner turbo. So no, I didn't go forced induction. I probably will if I max this thing out ever. I'd probably have Jose redo it. But, I got the Bullseye for a good price. It's an 80 mil billet wheel, T6. I really wish I got the V-band housing on it, but you live, you learn. Carbed NA350 with cam intake and exhaust. There's no way he's going 11s on that setup. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read. Yeah, Sean, you can't beat the TMZ stuff. I mean, it's badass. I got mostly UPR on my back of my car, control arm wise, but I mean, it's all good. Davis traction control. I've never heard anything bad about it. Don, I will be going over everything at the track. I'll probably do a voiceover, especially if I'm at a test and tune. I will take the time and explain what I am doing. But if I'm at an event, I'll probably just record it and do a voiceover later. Yeah, I love Bullseye's made in America, and I literally argued with a kid the other day that tried to tell me no turbocharger companies were made in America anymore. I thought that was funny. He tried to be a Billy badass on the internet, and I shut him down really quick. Saying it's a giant made in USA thing right on the turbo. Wow, FP's still around? Holy crap. Yeah, Borg based. Freaking Borg Warner back housing on this. Um, we ran some FP stuff on our Subaru stuff back in the day. Made decent power. Colin, see you later. Yeah, if I do anything, I'll just be upgrading that. If I upgrade turbos, I'll just upgrade this one. But yeah, Tiles making their turbos. I don't know if the Borg back housing is made in America. I don't know. I can't tell. I have a turbo blanket on it. That thing's a prick to take on and off. IRS rear end drag racing, like as a purpose built drag car, I wouldn't. Um, if you got a street car that you're gonna drag race every once in a while, it'll work. I mean, look at all the Dodge stuff now. It's all independent. A lot of cars are independent. No, I know the center section and the front housing are definitely made in America. I don't know where the back housing's made. Have a good night. Yeah, I know the whole center section of the front housing is. I'm pretty sure it's a Borg back housing. I think it said it on it. I think so. But thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. We're slowly getting there. I'm getting noticed. I was actually contacted by another company the other day, and we're gonna work some stuff out. Hopefully, I don't want to go too crazy doing videos for people's parts. It's not what this channel was about. Uh, so I'll be working with other companies, hopefully more. But I can't. I'm very happy with the Team Z, and I got another cool shop banner for it. I'm really liking all my shop banners. um, I, I am starting to get noticed more and more, and I'm actually. We have a website up. Um, it's not. It's still under construction. It's me and my wife working on it. We're doing it. Well, let me rephrase that. She's doing that end. She's better with that stuff than I am. T-shirts. I got a couple sample things in. I got this T-shirt. We got some coffee mugs. But some of the stuff's got to be tweaked and everything, and I'm not real happy with the way this design was printed onto the shirt. But we're working on it. We're doing things. Oh, have I ever seen that China rant? I love that China rant. I think it's hysterical. Um, and a lot of people who run eBay Chinese parts, they get a lot of butthurt over that video, and it's simply because they don't understand it. There's a difference between people are like, oh, his camera is made in China. Well, yeah, because there's probably not a single camera company in America. But if you have the option to buy, I'm not as big on that as he is. If you have an option to buy an American made fitting versus a cheap Chinese made fitting, and the price difference is very negligible, there's no point to buy the Chinese stuff. I see people all the time want to buy this eBay fuel line and fuel fittings, and it's like $100 more to buy all the stuff from a name brand, Fragola, Vibrant, of that nature. It blows my mind. Oh, Adam, I can't. I try to stick, but I mean, look, I got a Holly High Ram. That goddamn thing's made in China, but what can you do at that point? Unless you go to a small manufacturer here, that's what you're gonna get. You guys gotta watch. He has two awesome more videos that uh there was a trophy one. He didn't get a trophy from sponsoring a race that he makes a cardboard template that was funny. And his what was it, his Pro Mod driver video where you can buy like the potato chips and all that crap. Oh yeah, Sean, I've had a couple people message me and I won't name names or anything, but I have turned them away politely. I did not want to deal, and I'm not just gonna change stuff on my car just for content. One person I did tell that I would like to work with them on my next car that I build, because it won't be a Mustang. But I'm not just gonna, you know, plaster parts all over the car just for it. Have fun at work, Marcella intake. I would love to get a one of those billet ones from who's it, Frankenstein or Frank whoever, because I'd love to put my stock hood on the car. I got the I don't know if you guys can see it. It's back here. I have the stock hood for the car. I'd love to run a stock flat hood, but I'm not changing intake manifolds anytime soon. Unedited video. Are you freaking high? So when I talked to Dave about the torque boxes, he told me his guys take 10 hours to do the lower and 8 hours to do the upper. So I figured double that. So if you want to 20 hours, you can get it. I want the 417 lower with the 2,000 horsepower intercooler with the so there's a company that makes a carbon high ram upper, and I think that would be badass. But you're in the price range of $4,000 for an intake with an intercooler, and the intercooler is not even all done. You still got to buy lines and a pump and the billet rails and fittings, and $4,500 for an intake manifold and an intercooler is a touch out of my budget. Yeah, I've bought a couple things from Texas Speed. Um, they're doing some pretty wild stuff down there now, more and more. Oh, I'm running an 80 millimeter turbo. I was gonna run a T476 to try to fit into classes, and I pretty much said that to Clash Racing unless they come up with something better. I literally saw a promoter talk about having a committee of people to manage their class rules. A committee. A committee of people to manage rules. At that point, you got too many goddamn rules, and that shit needs to change. Yeah, I haven't dealt with their customer support. I had no need. I bought like my oh sorry. I bought my lifters and lifter trays and gaskets and stuff from them. So I really didn't have any. Yeah, I put an 80 on it. 80 mil, be done. That gets you to 850s. What's going on, Matthew? How you doing? Got to be warm down in Texas. I mean, it's warm in my garage, but it's freaking cold out up here already. I just wish someone. I think TMZ was talking about building a billet, a budget billet intake manifold. I think Dave mentioned something like that. Dave's doing a lot of cool stuff. He's opened up, a metal business and another CNC business, and he's doing a lot of stuff. And if he comes out with a budget billet intake manifold, $2,000 or less, that's what I'd buy. No, haven't got snow yet, but it was damn cold the other night, 29 degrees. Good lord, I'm going to New Hampshire soon. Next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they're calling for snow up there. The wife was like, "I am not coming. She's staying home." No, I probably won't be at World Cup. I gotta work and make some money. It's winter already. So I'm trying to get this thing driving so I can do a burnout. 68. I wish it was 68. It's 47 and dropping right now. It was actually beautiful today. A low of 36 tonight. Um, I've been following that BTR intake manifold, but I don't think that thing's gonna suit a lot of people. That looked like a very high RPM burnout in the snow. Very high RPM, high boost intake manifold. And from just the quick things I've seen is that thing loses a lot of power mid range and low. It's more of a race intake manifold and not really for a street car. So that was kind of disheartening to see. Burnout in the snow. Last year, um, I pushed that thing outside and my driveway was like ice because I didn't shovel it. And I had to turn that car around and it freaking sucked. But I want to do a burnout and drive it around the block at least, because once that happens, the thing's going up on jack stands and the rear end's getting torn out of it again, and we're gonna go over the torque box replacements, which are super sweet parts. I have them sitting on the floor over there, and I would love to do it now. And there's gonna just be so much adjustment that I'm gonna have to probably call Dave trackside, get it all set up. Yeah, Tim, I was very, like I said, disheartened. It was disheartening to see where that manifold actually makes power. I'm sure it's gonna sell very well, but I don't think it, unless something's changed in it, and it's different. I won't ever own that manifold. I'm actually waiting to see someone test the race sniper manifold. I want to see some testing on that one, because that one I could run a flat hood. I love my high ram. I love a Cal hood, but I think the flat hood would be pretty cool. Go Terminator. When I thought about buying a car, I looked at Terminators, and there's a lot. I would only own a white one or that color changing blue. Not the color changing blue one. Not the Mystic Chrome. That like bright blue one. And people want 25 grand for these cars, and I'm not paying 25 grand for a Mustang. Stupid. Sonic Blue. There you go. Um, Terminators are cool cars. They make some good power, but I think they, I think people think they're worth way more than they are. Especially guys with pre 03 Cobras. I know it's not a Terminator, but like these guys have 01 Cobras. They want 18 grand. LS swap a Terminator. Well, I could only imagine how many people want to kill Tanner and all them with their LS swap Terminators. But I love the look of them. I love the bumpers and the wing and everything. What? What? You guys can't see, but my dog is leaping at me. Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh. 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 Is that Fox solid axle swap? Yeah. It was like 60 grand or something, wasn't it? Yeah. See, I wouldn't even want a stock one because I just beat the crap out of it. But like I said, I'd want a white one. I should put my car and bring a trailer when it's done. Maybe I get 100 grand for it. I get 100 grand for the car. I'm buying a Ferrari. I wouldn't mind owning one, but I'd be mad as hell once the motor breaks. Yeah, that Sonic Blue is gorgeous. I do like I do like them, but and I don't want to drive halfway across the country for a car again. I drove 14 hours to get that car because most cars in New England are overpriced or rot boxes. I think I looked at 15, 20 Fox bodies in New England. And it came to the point where I was just so fed up with it. I was freaking yelling at people when I get to their house and their clean Fox body had no floorboards and no frame rails. What are you staring at? This dog. So that's all with the Terminator. Yeah, I honestly try not to buy anything from New York. I've worked on a ton of cars from New York, and it's just good lord. New York or Jersey, I won't buy cars from there. I've looked at 100 cars and I've probably worked on 1,000 cars. I don't know what kind of shops people run out in New York and Jersey, but they suck. Especially their body shops. Good lord, most of those body shops suck. Yeah. People drive these Mustangs into the ground and want thousands of dollars for a rot box. Yeah, this is a Florida car. This car came from Florida, and Dean bought it. I'm the third owner of this car, and it was in Indiana for a couple of years when Dean owned it. Um, I would never start a performance shop. That's not a headache I'd ever want to have, especially in the state of Connecticut. They are brutal when it comes to small business, and I wouldn't want to have a performance shop anyway. I just want to be YouTube famous and have an apparel company. Why is it so hard? Yeah, I won't buy cars with rust unless it's on a changeable body panel. I did floorboards. I helped do floorboards in a Fox body once. It's something I'll never do again. Yeah, couldn't. My buddy's been my inner hoonigan. Uh, One day we're working on it. We're definitely working on it and getting there. I think a lot of things will change once I actually have a car at the track and I could actually be at the track. So I think a lot of things will change then. Yeah, probably end up in prison too. Doing donuts. Oh, we're gonna do some hoonigan type of shit with this car when it's done. I do want a Coyote. That's not a lie. I'm not paying the money for it though. If someone were to hook me up with a Coyote swap, um, I'd put it in a car and rock it, and definitely rock it. But I'm not paying $4,000, $5,000 for it. That's just ridiculous. I can find so many other motors to put in a car before I spend that money. Yeah, I mean, I do see Coyotes going cheaper, but it's usually truck motors, no intake manifolds, no accessories, maybe a harness and a computer, no tranny. $1,500. It's a lot of money still, because then I'm still 6 grand probably to get it running in the car. Oh. I am working on another video right now. Um, Working on another video right now of the hell of trying to start this car. Team up with Proline. Shit. I think they got a lot bigger names under their belt. But I'm working on another video right now. I hope to have it out Tuesday. No, what is today? Today is Tuesday. I just put that other one out Friday, Tuesday. I don't know. Hopefully by this end of the week, I will get another video out. Um, some fuel, a couple of things had to get worked on, and trying to start this thing and what I went through. I'm pretty much done filming it. I mean, I am done filming it. I just gotta spend a couple hours to edit it, and then I will get another video up to you, and then hopefully we get a running video again, and hopefully it'll be on its wheels. It won't be driving, but it'll be on its wheels. 4K. No, I'm not paying that much. That's a lot. It's a lot for a motor, especially when I can make more power with a $1,000 motor, and it's easier to put in the car. If I had 15 to 20K to build a Fox body, for what purpose? Street car, drag car. Morris. I would put most of my money into suspension and driveline before the engine. Someone taught me a long time ago, which I still have yet to follow, would be start at the back of the car and work your way forward. That's what I would do. I'd start at the rear bumper and come forward. Yeah, Morris has a hit or miss reputation, but so does Nelson. I sometimes I miss the Integra. I don't miss the blood sucking money draining it caused, but I don't miss that part of it. $2,000 for a shifter. That was the final straw with that car. If you just want to cruise and cut some knives, I don't even. You could probably build a whole car for 20 grand to do that. Junkyard LS, go nines, no problems. With a cam, they don't even need a cam anymore. They're doing it with untouched junkyard motors. But I stick a cam in it just to be easy. I mean, you literally take a 6.0 LS, cam it, and you already have a 460 horse motor with a cam only car. Yeah, you can buy turnkey 9-second cars. Um, Adam, I you go on. No, I don't even know if they're on Honda Tech. I think they're mostly on Instagram. Yeah, 2K for a shifter. G-Force makes a gated H pattern shifter for anything, but they adapt it to the Hondas with a T1 plate, and the whole kit. I'm sorry, it's not 2 grand. It's like 13 or $1,400, but to be properly used, you got to put a strain gauge on the shifter. And if you don't know what that is, it's a sensor on the shifter that feels the amount of pressure you're putting on it, and it will cut. It's programmed to the ECU, and it will cut spark for you to shift flat foot shifting. And the whole thing's like $2,100 said and done. I mean, I already had a $4,000 gear stack, a $2,000 bell housing, a $1,000 diff, $2,000 axles. Six 6.0 with 243 heads. If I remember correctly, that puts the compression in 11 and change area. I'd most certainly run that. But would I take off 317s and put 243s on? No. But if I bought a 6.0 block and bought 243s, I'd put it together. Yeah. Well, that's why I got out of the Honda, man. It was just I'm 12, 13K just in the transmission setup, and it will break. I had a Liberty's gear stack, and they were notorious for final drives in fourth gear shredding. Like 20 passes, you're putting a fourth gear in it. My motor is a rod and piston motor. Stock crank, stock bore, K1 rods, Weisco pistons, JE pistons. I don't even remember. Manley valves, BTR springs, steel retainers. I didn't even buy titanium. And a cam from BTR, stage 2 turbo cam. And it's a 5.3. It's not a 6.0. I will build a 6.0 on the side after this thing's ready to go. I probably do a 6.0, Cali's crank, rods, diamond pistons type of setup. I'd probably do like a 370-inch motor, somewhere right around there. That seems to be like the magical size. You don't need to put a ton of money into them unless you're looking for 2,000 horsepower. I mean, we all know Gen 4s can hold 1,000 horsepower all day. But so when you see people online talking, oh, they make 1,000 horsepower with stock motors. It's possible, but your tuning window is now this big. That's the problem. You got a rod and piston motor, your tuning window is now this big. You can miss with a tune-up and not shoot the rod. That's the upside to spending, $1,500 on rods and pistons. You miss with a tune-up on a Gen 4 at 25 pounds of boost, you're going to freaking know it. And if you don't have a diaper on the car, you're going to lose your whole freaking car and everything. A 408, are you stroking that in a stock block? Oh, 800 horse. These motors laugh at 800 horse with the correct tune in it. 800 horse crap. They're daily driving 800 horse LSs. Gotta be careful with that 408 in a stock block. It might pull the pistons too far down. I don't know. I don't know too much about it, but I did read something about that. Pulls the skirts out of the bottom of the block and cause the piston to rock. They came with ARP from the factory. If E85 is local to you and you plan on driving it daily, I would. E85 is about a half hour for me. I drove for the first time the other day on Sunday to get it. It's about a half hour, 40 minutes or so. So I plan on doing flex fuel with this car. I wired it in, but apparently I did something wrong because it gave me a fault for it. Um, But what I plan on doing is I got two 55-gallon mobile drums, and I'll probably put one in the bed of my truck, fill it up, bring it home, and transfer it over into the other 55-gallon drum. But you tear through E85, so I got to see what kind of mileage I would get out of that. Connecticut doesn't even have E85. Sorry, I'm texting. A drum of V85. I don't think it's that cheap. I paid $2.49 a gallon yesterday. I don't think I'm getting a drum of it shipped for $140. I mean, there's a station down in Fairfield that I could probably pick it up from, but I think it's more than $140. Yeah, $3.55. I can. Yeah, $137 from the pump. Anything's cheaper than race fuel. It amazes me that people still run Q16 and crap like that when ethanol is makes so much power. I don't know about that. I don't know if I prefer race gas over ethanol. I haven't decided. I know Q16 just burns your goddamn eyeballs. I mean, if you want to pay $7, $8 a gallon for a smell, I like $2.49 out of the pump. And then it was funny because I filled up my 5-gallon jug, and then I put like another $40 into my truck because the truck is flex fuel. And it's been nice to smell that thing burning some ethanol. E85 doesn't cool unless it's like a blow-through carb setup. I would never ditch my intercooler on a E85 setup on an EFI car. The only way I ditch my intercooler is if I went methanol, but that's a myth. There's been a lot of people to prove it doesn't cool enough. Yeah, the race gas does all smell different. Yeah, blow through with E85 it works well, but CS gas, holy shit. Um, I wouldn't run an EFI setup without an intercooler. And there's not a single car that people are building that can't fit an intercooler. If they can't, they're just being lazy. If you're building a freaking smart car, I understand it. But other than that, you can fit intercoolers anywhere. Carbs can pull this. That's what I think about carbs. Leave that shit in the 70s. I bet you my car was carbureted, it probably would have started. No, it wouldn't have. Tesla intercooler. Stepping away from your boosted K series. Yeah, I mean, all-wheel drive's the latest craze in the Honda world. Everybody's doing it, and they're flying with the all-wheel drive. Um, I mean, I made the switch. I did um, turbo Hondas for years, and it was a big step to go to this. And that's honestly how this whole channel started. Was there's nothing out there. There's no info out there. Um, and I feel like as I'm learning, I can put it online to help other people, especially with stuff like the mini tubs. That's still my most highly watched video. I got like 15,000 views on that video for mini tubs. I've had countless messages of people thanking me for that video. Um, so it's just a learning curve. If you're mechanically knowledgeable, you'll be fine. I would love to do that video with Dave. That's something I'll probably bring up to him next year. Um, that I have literally zero time. Um, my wife's gonna have our first kid in end of January, and I got so much to do before then. And that's something I would like to do next year. I would not mind taking a quick weekend trip out there and doing a video or two with him going over suspension settings. So that is something I definitely want to talk to him about doing next year. Yeah, I mean, so many people have found me because of the mini tub video. Because I did exactly what everybody else did when I got my mini tubs. I Googled install videos of these mini tubs, and there was none. I This dog, man. And I'm trying, J man. That's like I said, that's the main goal is to help everyone as much as I can. And um, I I try to go through the learning curve myself so you guys can skip all the crap when you're doing it. Um, it's just because I'm not hiding much. I mean, I do record 3 or 4 hours of video and try to condense it down to 20 minutes. Um, but I really don't. I don't cut out all the problems. Let's put it that way. I cut out stupid problems that where I'm like, damn it, why did I do that? But that's something I do, not everybody else would do. But I really try to show all of that. Yeah, 4 or 5 cameras. Uh, yes, frame notching is needed. That is how it's just all part of it. Um, that is something you have to do. But honestly, the frame notching is the easiest part of that job. It's just the way that it just sets up the whole fender well to be flush. Yeah, everybody makes that look like it's a 10-minute job, and they'll tell you it's super easy. And I mean, it's not a tough job. It's just a lot of work. Did I do a front video of cutting the front support out? I think if you go all the way back to one of my first videos, I think I did the lower support. When I originally started doing this, I had the full radiator support in here, and I cut it on each side, and I built some brackets so I could Zeus it in and out. And one day I was working on it, and I sliced my arm, probably about 4 inches up my arm, on the side of the radiator support, and I cut the whole goddamn thing out from that day on. I was so mad. Oh, let me tell you, a hatch with no cage, it probably would be. But fighting around a cage with that already had panels put in that can't come out, so I literally had to fight around interior panels, roll cage, in a notch. It sucked. How far will the MS3 take me? There are guys in the sevens on an MS3. There are hundreds of people running that computer that have no problems. Do I recommend it? No, I don't. I think for the price of it, you can get something a little bit better for a couple $100 more. Holley HP. Holley HP's right on the same as the MS3 when it comes to inputs, outputs, and stuff it can do. But the cool thing about the HP is you can unplug that thing later on and just plug a Dominator into all your wiring already. Now Fuel Tech's coming out with these FT 450s and FT 550s for $1,600. You know, you're gonna spend $1,300 on a gold box. It's not worth it in my eyes. And they're supposed to be open till 7 o'clock at night, says their voicemail. I called them at 5:30 last night, didn't get an answer, I left a voicemail. I called them at 6 o'clock or 6:15, got their voicemail. They called me back at 9:30 this morning. That's horrible customer support when you're a computer company. Fuel Tech has Facebook pages. Holley has Facebook pages. Fuel Tech supposedly has the best customer service. Holley has good customer service, but it can be iffy. But there's so many people running them that you can get on Turbo Bullet and someone will be there to help. So I really don't recommend the MS3. Unless you go like MS3 Pro or something, there's more help on that side because that's done by DIY and Goldbox is EFI Source. It's a little separate. Yeah, the tubs. I don't have a tube front end. It's just a cut stock front end. The tubs suck to put together. Yep, a lot of people do run an MS3. I wouldn't. Convertible. I like the convertible ones. Yeah, the Mega Squirt forms are kind of a prick to use though. But I mean, if you're gonna build a car to race, that is not the platform I would use, especially for a couple $100 more. And this goes back to me not knowing anything when I first started this car. Had I known what I know now, I would have never bought that system. And I can't wait for the day I get to rip it out of the car and sell it. Or I keep it for another LS swapped car. Who knows? That actually might happen instead. Especially how much customization I've done to that engine harness. I probably won't get the money back I put into it. Alright, guys. It's already 9 o'clock. Oh, I haven't even eaten dinner yet. So, let's end this. I wanted to jump on tonight. I was really had nothing to do with the car because I can't do anything. And I just want to get up here and talk to you guys again. This winter, once race season is probably done, I will probably do a live stream weekly or bi-weekly. I'll probably set up like a second Thursday every month, or we'll work something out to do something this winter to keep us all entertained. I had tacos. I didn't have tacos. Thanks, Jay, man. Thank you. So we'll probably do a live stream once. It probably won't be once a week. It probably once every other week, just to keep us all informed and all entertained when race season. There's no racing going on. All right, guys. I hope you have a great night. Stay tuned for another video coming soon. And my dog thinking she's a freaking billy goat. Hangouts. Yeah, I meant to. Jason, can you send me a message on Facebook with that, a link or something? I meant to look into that and I completely forgot. Because that's something I wouldn't mind doing is, people in the industry doing it live with them. So send me a thing on Facebook. All right. Have a good night, guys. I am getting out of here. Once I can find my stop button. No problem, Don.